Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are at. Hope you're having a fantastic day here. It's SoulSaint, and I wanted to show you guys my full package.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Yeah, I'm actually very serious about this for once. This is actually kind of an interesting one. I wanted to do basically a series where I do the tour de SoulSaint, and I show you guys a little bit of every single comp I utilize across the entire dungeonscape and give you guys a little bit of a perspective on it. This is actually a request that was asked of me during the subathon in terms of I have an ideas channel where I asked people to put some ideas down, and one person actually asked to explain my comps and showcase them in a sense from where we are. So I thought, you know what, this would be a great opportunity just to kind of do it. And I wanted to add a little bit something new, something a little new to the table. And lo and behold, we have our full package. So if you aren't familiar, I wish I had it recorded or saved, but actually at the beginning of our subathon that we had about basically like a week or two ago, we had a big what do you call it, primal event where they had like 2x for mythics and whatnot, and amongst some of the new legend or the new mythics I got, I mean, you can kind of see we have a pretty big of a expansive amount of, we have a lot of champions, right? We got some red, and amongst them was Gallius, the blood crest here. He's actually your resident cock in the in the Skinwalkers faction. He's our rooster for the squad. And along with our nuts, I thought I would showcase something, especially with the fact that we have a new version of Iron Twins. So if you're not familiar with this last update, we had some big updates to Iron Twins, Sand Devils, and Shoguns, which you're going to see a little bit of today. I'm going to start with our tour from left to right. I'm actually going to just try to showcase as much of these as I can and kind of go, but today we're going to start with IT from left to right. Iron Twins is basically going to be this. Because they made it so much more easier in terms of like stat values, they did a whole breakdown in their raid digest or in a video where they talked about the update. There's going to be less HP, less demands, and basically it's a lot easier to approach this. Now, I will give a disclaimer here and say that I have a team that is also capable, and I'm going to do both of them today for Iron Twins, which is the old Emmett comp that I was using prior to the nerf, and then of course where we are now, which allows for it. And there's the reason why I still have that team kind of semi-built, and I'll explain here in a little bit. But with that being said, I'll go and show you guys a quick little rundown of the team itself and give you like a little bit of an explanation. Basically, Gallius plus the 2 GNUTS are enemy max HP hitters on their A3, and of course Gallius with his A1 whenever he's counterattacking. It tells you right there. Do enemy max HP, which is 10% per hit when it's fully capped. And I have a resetter and Yumiko who benefits across the board with all 3 of those champions. So they are defensive nukers by nature. So having Siphi give them not only increased speed, but also increased defense, particularly is what we care about here, allows them to do more damage output, right? So I'll just do a little quick showcase here. Gallius and all the rest of them are pretty much over 255. Yumiko and Siphi are over like 300, which kind of doesn't matter. As long as they're just faster than the boss, you pretty much get it, right? I'm going to show you the first run here, and basically what you're going to see is GNUT number 1 and number 2 are going to do 30% of the damage right off the rip, which is going to be about 30% and 30%, which is 60. I don't know if you also saw, we got a counterattack from Gallius himself, which also did 10%. Whether or not he counterattacks is fine off that initial, after the initial buffs. Kind of doesn't matter because we're going to get a reset, and with GNUT number 1 and number 2 going again, that's going to be another 60%, so 60 and 60. Kind of get the idea of it, right? So it's gonna basically not necessarily, he's kind of there just as a catch-all, but I wanted to show something just to kind of like make a little bit of a meme with it. If you pay attention to his kit here, he actually has, I believe I set it to prioritize the A2 here, which gives him counterattack as well as unkillable, which you'll see him put on right there. He'll give himself some buffs. We get the reset from Yumiko, which will allow the team to get rebuffed again. He's going to do his spray and pray. We get the counterattack there. That's actually the 10% right there. That'll make up for the 3 and the 3, which is 60. 30 and 30, basically. And then, of course, you get the counterattacks from there. And you kind of see it go into fruition. He is going to hit his thresholds here and there in between. You get the counterattack in between as well, which allows me to finish clearing him out. This is actually like a 20-something or so run. Basically, the main thing you need to make sure you're doing is you have enough speed to make sure that these guys are going. Honestly, around 254, 255 is where I have my GNUTS in general for majority of the content that you're going to be seeing across this entire tour, including areas like Phantom Shoguns and Fire Knight for that matter. That is their base speed. You can add more to it if you want to, but it's not necessary. Same thing with Gallus. I think he's just barely over 250, as you saw. And, of course, the Yumis and Sippis, they're built for PvP, and so they're a little bit faster, obviously. But a quick little rundown. It's about 27 seconds here if you see it. We're going to make it go really quickly here and show you guys another one. But I'm also going to show you my Emic team, which did not lose its value. It's still relevant today if that's the options you have. Maybe you don't have multiple GNUTS. Maybe you don't have any GNUTS. Maybe you don't have Gallia. So I want to give you like a little bit of like an idea of the two teams I use here, and also allow me to explain why I have the other team still pre-built. So as you can obviously tell, every single day we get a new rotation of affinity. It goes in a cycle, so you get Spirit, Magic, and Force, and of course Void. GNUT works across the board for all of them except for one in particular, which is Magic. Now, because he's Magic, I don't want to play the risk of not hitting my 10% because of weak hits and all that. So what I do is I bring this team into play, which is the Emic team comp, and it capitalizes off of reflect damage from Geomancer using the Taunt and Unkillable, and the shields and the heals and the resets from the PKs and the Emics, right? So just to bring it down to full scope, we have Emic in the lead here with 251 speed, north of 100k HP. It's way higher now, and I have a blessing waiting for him, so it's going to go even higher once I get to that mission where I need to apply it on him. But he prioritizes his A3, and then of course his A2 afterwards. 251 speed, defense north of 3k, over 100k HP. Should pretty much be where you want to aim for here. You could, as a safety net, add regen or immortal in some capacity. I think I don't have anything else on there in terms of healing. We can double check real quick, but I believe he does have immortal, so he is getting 3% every single turn, but that's about it. It's not really that crazy high, and basically a broken set of stats and whatnot. Regen is not a bad nod if you want to make sure he keeps a healthy amount of HP pool during the course of this fight, because he's going to be taking the brunt of damage. But overall, I don't have it there. I get most of my healing from the PKs and all that. Geomancer is a healthy 181. The main thing you want to do is hit the accuracy, which has been nerfed down. It used to be 555. I think it's now been nerfed down to like the 4079s-ish range. As a matter of fact, we'll go and see if we can kind of pull that up really quickly. I am going to pull Stages tool. I think that should be updated here. If you guys aren't familiar with it, this is the Hell Hades website where he puts the pages of like information about the bosses, which we're going to show you here in just a second. Now it's 505, where I'm not sure if that's been updated or not. Actually, excuse me. He's at 350 resistance, which means that you want to have at least 375 accuracy to combat that. So it's way easier now. I thought it was like in the 500 range before, which is what the big challenge was. Now it's even easier. He's fully empowered, almost fully awakened, so it's kind of like a no-brainer that I hit that fairly easy along with masteries, right? Coldheart's going to be a solid 184. Pretty much you're playing towards her enemy max HP hit, which is going to be her Heartseeker A3. Not fully crit capped because you get like 30% on top of that. But basically, you just want to hit that speed, a decent amount of crit damage to complement it, and let her hit and go home. I turned off the A2 there. It's not necessary. You can leave it on, but main thing you want to do is just prioritize her A3. Now, PK number 1 is going to be at 216. We have her open up with the A1, but she prioritizes the A3, which is the reset, and then the A2 following after that in terms of priority. PK number 2, which you can tell is not also fully awakened, fully ascended, fully anything. She's level 1 for that matter. She's sitting on a comfy 211 speed, which are the most important things you want to make sure you're tracking here is 211, 216. For the 211, you're going to actually open up with the A3, but the priority is going to be the A2 first and then the A3 afterwards. So it's offset for the PK1 and PK2. And of course, with Emic having his A2 prioritized, that's how you get the triple reset, which allows you to cycle into his abilities pretty well. So we're gonna do a quick run here, show you real fast. I think this team is roughly around like 50 seconds to a minute. Fairly quick. It opens up with his A3 because he's the first one on top of the turn, and then pretty much it's just reset. He does his thing. We keep the burns up, and then of course we cycle into constantly resetting him and enabling that perma-taunt, perma-unkillable for him while also maintaining his HP. And then what we're netting in the difference here is that we keep 100% uptime on the HP burn as much as possible, unless we're hitting threshold breaks, but he gets reset as well from Geo side, so Geo just reapplies it, and we just rinse and repeat, constantly just reflecting that damage from passives of Geomancer to constantly get the boss down very low. See, we're only 35 seconds in, and we're almost already done with the fight. Emic is looking pretty healthy. We got the perma-taunt back up and running. Got another 10% of there. We reapplied the burn. It's going to basically rinse and repeat with the shield going on top of that. He's going to do his damage, and we clear it within 47 seconds. So not a very hard one there. I mean, you could add some toxic sets here and whatnot, but it's really kind of like it's overkill at that point, I feel like. So Very simple team there. I can show you some of the masteries on some of the boys that we just recently used, so you can kind of get an idea. Emic is going to be running pretty much Eagle Eye there. I think I was originally intending his build to be designed towards his passive for PvP content, to put stuff on cooldown, which we didn't see through all the way, unfortunately. But accuracy and, of course, defense with the extra heals and all that. It was really designed for PvP initially, but you got the gist of it. Pretty much, you're just trying to make sure he survives at the end of the day. No blessing there, although I could see various different options being applicable there. Geomancer, on the other hand, there. Oh, and as you saw earlier, he's an immortal and a couple of pieces of stone skin and some broken sets on top of that. So, not really that much mandatory. The main goal is just to hit the stats you're looking for lack of better words. Geomancer, on the other hand, here has accuracy lined up on the support tree. He does have War Master, although majority of his priority is getting that A3 off consistently. So, you're going to see that quite a bit. Same thing with Coldheart. She's actually going to have no master. She's actually my third champion. But if I were to go down the tree, I pretty much would aim for hitting crit cap, or basically trying to get extra damage out from my maybe War Master proc or something along those lines. But she's running an ignore percent defense set with Zeal, so lethal and Zeal. That was just what my gear had at the time I was using. I haven't checked this in a minute, so you know, it's not very high priority. But basically, the main goal was just to hit as much crit damage within the speed range and making sure she hit at least the 70% crit rate threshold. For Painkeeper, she actually was built for damage. I think she kind of took a couple cycles of different builds, because I took some pieces, put something to fill up the gap for her. So she's a little overkill in terms of like crit rate and whatnot. As long as you hit the 100% though, she pretty much hits it. The main thing though for her is that you hit 216 speed for the first one, and of course respectively on the second one, same thing. I believe they don't have their masters as well, so it's not really mandatory at all. But the Geo, if you're struggling to hit some accuracy thresholds, getting Eagle Eye would not be a bad option. But it's overkill what we have now, especially since it's empowered, so I haven't built a little differently for some miscellaneous things as well. So just so you guys can kind of see that. For the Gallia side, we did originally try to see if we can build him up for PvP. I still haven't really put him in there, and to be honest with you, I'm not really excited about bringing him into the PvP light, especially since he's not booked. But he's been kind of feeling a little lackluster, so I just kind of threw him in there for the memes. Full package, you kind of get it, you know, cock and balls. I'm not going to lie. Just going to throw it out there. But the GNUTS, respectively, which is pretty much the main thing there. They're kind of Giant Slayer oriented because they do triple hits. Accuracy for Fire Knight. This build is more designed for Fire Knight more than anything across the board for both of them. They're trying to, you know, reduce turn meter or boost their turn meter up whenever they got something there. Basically, the goal is to keep the enemy turn meter down while doing your damage, and of course having the accuracy to hit certain milestone check parts for Fire Knight, which was 345 accuracy, and then of course some certain speed ranges for a speed tune, which we'll show down the road. And of course, my Siphi, fast, lack of better words, and Yumiko, fast and accurate. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the course of what I got going on for IT as of the course of this time. I only pull out the Emic team whenever I am on Magic Affinity, but outside of that, we throw the meme team out there with this one, and we kind of just let it roll. Since I did burn some gems just to use this, I'm going to go ahead and finish off this, the last three, and maybe net me some extra Soulstone currency. You know, hopefully we get some luckies there. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys using something different? Did the nerf actually make it easier for you? I'm very curious. I think for me, I am going to be honest, it has done nothing negative on my side, but it's made it easier for me to kind of brute force it, for lack of better words, with the nerf. So, for my end, it made something that I've already kind of beaten easier to beat. Fine by me, not a problem. If it made other people easier to proc, and I can tell you this based on my experiences since we were having a subathon during this whole experience, it's been fairly easy for people to be able to hit their progression pretty well. Some people hit 15 for the first time and beat it for the first time and are now able to farm, which is a big W. We like that for the community, right? We want people to be stronger, more capable, so they can do more content. And I'm in that ballpark of like, cool, doesn't hurt me. I'm okay with it. You know, it's not a big deal. But yeah, you guys let me know. What teams did you guys use to prog up since the recent nerf to this boss? Have you guys enjoyed the fact that you can now farm a little bit higher? I'm all ears. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always remember, stay ascended.